Here are the stories of 5 children who were kidnapped and found alive many years later. Number 1. Fawzia Amin Sido. August 3, 2014. 10-year-old Fawzia Amin Sido, a Yazidi girl, was kidnapped by ISIS in Iraq. She was sold to 3 different men and abused by all until being sold for the 4th time to a Palestinian militant in Syria who became her husband. She gave birth to 2 children before she turned 15. When her husband was killed in 2019, she was smuggled to the Gaza Strip by Hamas militants and forced to marry her late husband's brother. While there, she became a slave to her husband's family. In 2023, an airstrike on her family home in the Gaza Strip by the Israelis killed her captors, and Sido fled. She was helped by different aid groups and was smuggled to Israel, then Jordan, and back to Iraq to be reunited with her family in October 2024. The whereabouts of her children is unknown. Number 2. Carlina White. August 4, 1987. 19-day-old Carlina White was taken to hospital in New York by her parents. A woman pretending to be a nurse kidnapped Carlina. Her name was Ann Petway. She changed Carlina's name to Nedra Nance, or Nettie for short, and moved to Bridgeport, Connecticut, just 1 hour away. Her parents tried everything to find her but were unsuccessful. More than 20 years later, when Carlina was pregnant with her own child, she asked for her birth certificate and social security card so she could obtain health insurance. Ann explained to Nettie that she was adopted after being abandoned by a woman on drugs. Nettie didn't entirely believe this story and began her own search for the truth. Whilst on the national website for missing and exploited children, she discovered a photo that looked just like her own baby photos. She phoned the hotline in 2010. DNA tests were done, and in January 2011, Carlina was reunited with her mother, Joy. Ann Petway was charged that same month with kidnapping and spent just 10 years in jail. She was released on April 14, 2021. Number 3. Sun Wei. In 1995, 4-year-old Sun Wei was walking home from kindergarten in China when he was given sweets by a stranger, lured into a van, and kidnapped. He was taken 2,000 kilometers away to the city of Jieyang, sold to a couple, and given a new name and birth date. His life with his new parents was tough, and he left when he was 14. He had been reported missing by his parents, but they had no photos of him, so the police couldn't help. His father quit his job and spent many months looking for his son. Despite his attempts, he was unsuccessful. Not willing to give up, he submitted his DNA to the Chinese Missing Persons Authority and waited. In 2015, Sun Wei, at the insistence of his friends, submitted his DNA to the same authorities. And in October 2015, 20 years after he was kidnapped, he was reunited with his family. Wei's adopted family were never charged, and it is unlikely the traffickers will ever be found. Number 4. Jaycee Dugard. June 10, 1991, 11-year-old Jaycee Dugard was kidnapped near her home in California by a man named Philip Garrido and his wife Nancy. For the next 18 years, Jaycee was held captive by Garrido in sheds in his backyard less than 200 kilometers from her family home. In that time, she endured years of abuse, even giving birth to 2 children that were fathered by Garrido. In 2009, Garrido took his 2 daughters to the Berkeley University in California, seeking permission to hold a special religious event. The event coordinator noted his erratic behavior and that the 2 girls seemed very submissive and pale. An investigation began, and Garrido was eventually asked to come to the police station with the 2 girls. He did. He also took his wife and Jaycee, who went by the name Alyssa. At the police station, Jaycee told the police who she really was, ending her 18 years in captivity. She was reunited with her mother on August 27, 2009. Garrido was sentenced to 431 years in jail and will never be a free man. His wife Nancy was only given 35 years and may be free as early as 2029. Number 5. Fusako Sano. November 13, 1990. 9-year-old Fusako Sano was kidnapped from a school baseball game in Japan. She was taken by 28-year-old Nobuyuki Sato and held captive in his room for almost 10 years, just 55 kilometers from where she was taken. Sato lived in the upstairs part of his mother's house and would get angry or even violent if anyone went upstairs. Over the years, Sato's mother made several complaints to the Japanese healthcare system about her son's worsening mental state. In 2000, medical staff visited Sato's home. He became violent and the police were called. Sano was discovered in his room on January 28, 2000. She was emaciated and could barely walk. It is believed that Sano was not sexually assaulted but kept as a pet to keep Sato company. He spent only 15 years in prison and was released in 2015. He died alone in his home in 2017. 12 months prior to Sano being kidnapped, Sato attempted to kidnap another girl and was caught in the act. His father paid his way out of it. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon.